The Nittany Lions knock the Scarlet Knights off their horse. How Chop Robinson is able to spend so much time in the Rutgers backfield.
Once the first time I got off the ball and I was keying it, I feel like I was unstoppable.
Drew Aller goes down, and Bo Prabula picks up the offense with an immediate spark. Why his performance gives the coaching staff some unique quarterback options. And we serve up a plate of gratitude for college football, the traditions we are thankful for during this holiday weekend. It's time for Nittany Game Week. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Nittany Game Week. I'm Todd Sadowski alongside former Nittany Lions coaches Jay Paterno and Tom Bradley. First off, the pants. It's hunting season. You got your Thanksgiving pants.
Make sure you wear your orange when you go in the woods.
That's right. It's a safety reminder here.
Safety tip.
Yes, on the show. And look, you guys have both been through the experience. The final game at Beaver Stadium, how emotional is it for players and coaches?
Well, you know, it's emotional because guys give 4 or 5 years, but now in the transfer portal era, you know, some guys have 2 senior days and they come do a grad transfer and, you know, but it's a big deal.
I think it's emotional because you spent your time there and you go through, you see all your former teammates. And then even as a coach, when you watch guys you recruited and you see them going through the thing and it's their last game, I think that gets to you too.
You mentioned the transfer portal. Alex Felkin's only been there 11 months, so it was definitely his second senior day. And all the guys that are earning degrees were recognized, which I thought was a really nice touch. But look, I even had a friend in the media who knew it would be his last game reporting for Beaver Stadium after decades covering the team. So time stops for no one. The Nittany Lions run all over Rutgers again. The defense forces a few more key turnovers, and Bo Prabula heats up the competition at quarterback in our opening drive. Well, here we go, pregame ceremony to recognize the seniors and other guys graduating. A huge moment for the players. Remember offensive tackle Olu Fashion, who decided to come back, get his supply chain management degree instead of declaring for the NFL draft. Once the game begins, Penn State, they take advantage of more turnovers.
I think the big thing is, you know, again, 17 of the 27 points came off turnovers for the season. It's right about 40% of the points have come after turnovers or stops on downs.
Tom, that's a concerted effort by the defense. It's not just 3 and out. It's go make a play, go get the football.
Yeah, go get the ball because it's turned into points, and that's been what's really propelled them this year is that defense gets a turnover, and they've taken advantage of it.
Well, for Chop Robinson, he figured out how to get a head start off the ball, and then he describes the feeling of making it to the quarterback before they release the ball.
I was beating the clock, and every time it hit under 5, he was snapping the ball, so it was just having that cue on that, and then once I was cueing that, and once the first time I got off the ball and I was keying it, I feel like I was unstoppable. When you're getting to the quarterback, it actually feels like he's so far away and you're moving so slow. So it's like, just don't get rid of it, keep holding on to the ball one more second. And then once you finally get there, it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, exceptional game for Chop Robinson. We'll hear more from him later in the show.
Once again, Tom, the defense really did a nice job. You know, you look at Chop Robinson, the strip sack, you know, the ball's loose. He sucks it up like a Hoover vacuum cleaner, getting that ball, and, you know, those are big plays.
They're huge plays because it gives the offense a nice field position to start with. It's always nice when you don't have as far to go.
So for defensively, look, you knew against Rutgers, you got to force them to pass the ball, but this is the way they've been. They've made teams one-dimensional, and they forced them to throw the ball. They had a little bit of success doing that, but once again, the Scarlet Knights couldn't punch it in the end zone. And Tom, this defense has just been,
They needed 7 twice, you only got 3.
We got 2 holding calls, which would kill you.
That would change the whole game.
Yeah, it's impressive the way that Manny Diaz has used all of the defenders in a variety of ways. He's certainly earned the team's respect and admiration.
The guy that kind of teaches you life around football and kind of teaches you football in different aspects. And, you know, we learned a lot from him. The defense learned a lot from him. I would say he kind of gets everyone on the defense kind of riled up to where, like, they're like, we want to take somebody's head off just for him. You know, like, just the way he approaches it and the way he talks to us, planning his scheme is kind of fun.
As for Coach Franklin, he says he wants to make it very attractive for Coach Diaz to stay at Penn State until he's offered a really good head coaching position. On the offensive side of the ball, Drew Aller's injury gives Bo Prabula a chance to see extended playing time with the game still in doubt. It's important for everyone to see what he can do when he's in charge of the huddle. and he provides an immediate spark, Jay.
Yeah, he came in and got the big run right away. If you look at what happened when he got in the game, the yards per play went up by 2 or 3 yards per play, but he had better field position. When you look at when Allar was in the game, they were better on third downs, 4 of 7. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes going forward, but he gives you that running quarterback spark that you don't have when Drew's in the game.
Here's the other thing, too. Now, how do you prepare for him? 2 different style quarterbacks. You know, you're game planning for one of them, and how much you might need a little bit more in your arsenal for how much Pagula's going to come into the game. Bo's going to come in.
Will Coach Sider and Coach Hal make the adjustment with the play calling and keep it on the ground? Pagula brings a different "we're coming straight at you" type of energy, and he's ready to go whenever they call his number.
I'm always going to prepare as if I'm the starter, no matter what the circumstances. I did it last year as the 4th string. I was ready to go at all times, so that's the same way I'm going to, enter this game.
Being able to mix Bo in there as well, they have to call the game differently, and I think we did a really good job having a plan, and I think our backs ran extremely hard.
Pagula leads the team in rushing in his short time on the field with 71 yards on 8 carries. Well, what a great time of the year it is to see family and friends for the Thanksgiving holiday and, of course, for college football. Andrew Callista serves up a plate of gratitude.
A week to be thankful. For starters, I am thankful for a lot. My wife, Megan, who loves sports. I couldn't ask for anything more. And my close family, of course, who has supported me at every step of the way. Enough of that mushy stuff. Let's talk college football. I am thankful for everything around the game, the pageantry, the crowds, and the traditions. Over the years, I have seen a lot. And from a reporter's view, I love the ones I have seen up close. The traditions, like the Boilermaker special at Purdue. War Eagle down at Auburn is special indeed. Camp Randall's jump around. This is what college football is all about. Now at Penn State, I love the black shoes, white helmets, and plain uniforms. The drum major flip since I was a kid. A rabid Penn State student section. And of course, I grew up believing one-handed push-ups were everything. I love when guys like Mike Gesicki and other Penn State alumni come back and hang out on the sidelines like regular guys. And of course, the connection is football, but that's bigger than that at Penn State. And guys like Brad Spider Caldwell are a big reason for that. And I'm thankful to call Spider my friend. Finally, back to my family. I never really had a chance not to love college football. I grew up in the shadows of Beaver Stadium, in the tailgate lots, and had moments like this with the USC cheerleaders when I was only 6. And I will forever be thankful for moments like this with Coach Joe Paterno. College football is special. It will always be. Not because of the product on the field, but because of the fans and everything that surrounds the game. It is why we all love college football, no matter what age we are. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and all the best to your families.
Thank you, Andrew. That USC picture is still at his desk. Still to come, our scouting report. Sparty's defense has 28 sacks on the year. The best way our coaches see for Penn State to keep Drew Allar upright. Next.
Opening Drive is sponsored by your local Ford store. Visit buyfordnow.com today.
Well, welcome back. It's a short work week, interim head coach, holiday weekend, away from home, night game, and an NFL stadium on a Friday night. Plenty of unusual things taking place. Coach Bradley, Coach Paterno, how do you keep the players focused and get them ready for the Spartans?
Well, you just got to keep that 1-0 mentality they talk about all the time and get them, what's next, the Spartans.
Yeah, one play at a time, right?
And if you're not inspired to win the block of wood, that is the land grant trophy, then really check your pulse because you don't belong on a college football team. Let's talk about the Spartans. Offensively, really struggling this year. Now, these are Big Ten ranks, not national ranks. Only 17.4 points a game, which is last in the Big Ten, last in rushing, 7th in passing, and turnover margin is really a problem for them against Penn State. Let's talk about some guys to look at. Caton Hauser, the quarterback, is a freshman who I think has a great future at him. Hopefully not until after this week.
He's not ready for the defense this week.
No, and the tight end, Malik the Freak Carr, you just have to mention his name. Running back is a tough runner, and Jonathan Kim, their kicker, has 4 kicks, field goals over 50, including a long of 58. So they get to go over the midfield.
Especially indoors.
Yes, they're in range. So let's talk about how they're going to get this done. They've struggled running the football, but what they want to try and do is get things moving up front with zone, inside zone, and get their running back north and south, Tom.
Yeah, that's what they're going to try to do against Penn State. They're going to try to get some push and just run the ball and hopefully get some first downs so they can control the clock.
Yeah, not great speed at tailback, does run hard, and you got to bring them down with shoulder and get your body into them. So let's talk about what they do off that run game. Once you can start, if they do have some success with the run game, now the play action game opens. Here they fake the run, and when they fake the run, they get the linebackers to step up and they get the guys in behind them, Tom.
Yeah, that's the one thing. They're going to try to get the run game going and then get the pass, play action stuff from there.
Yeah, and if you get down the middle, and Indiana had problems last week with the tight end getting down the middle on them. Let's talk about now what they do. You look at Penn State's pass rush. One of the things you want to do is stay out of 3rd and long, and when you're not in 3rd and long, you go to your quick game. They like the quick game with their wideouts, Tom, and that neutralizes so much up front.
Yeah, that's the one thing with Penn State's great pass rush. It's coming out quick this week.
Yeah, no question. And here's a good shot in the red zone. They've been successful when they have gotten in the red zone. Nice move off the ball. They do have some talented wide receivers. This is not going to be a gimme. If Penn State does not get to the quarterback and disrupt things, they may be able to throw the ball. They're doing a pretty good job the last couple weeks. Now let's talk about them defensively. A little bit better defense than they are on offense. They're good on 3rd downs. Nationally, they're in the top 35 on third down conversions on defense. 27 points is a lot. They've given up some. Let's talk about some of the personnel. The linebacker, this is a linebacker safety-oriented defense. They're going to make the bulk of the tackles, and we'll talk about why that is. Let's take a look at their base stuff now. In their base defense, these 2 linebackers are in the box, so it invites you to run. But, Tom, these safeties are going to read what's happening, and if the run comes to them, they go and they rotate.
They're going to be very active in this package. One of the problems they've had is right here, up front. And that's why you'll see these safeties make a lot of tackles.
Right. You'll see right as soon as the running back comes to the right, to the defense's right, the safety to the right, and the boundary comes up and he gets in on the tackle. Now, we'll talk about some of the other things they do. They like run blitzes. Here's a cross blitz inside. They fill in with the safety, which means they can't get him with the wideouts blocking. I would expect to see a lot of this against Penn State.
They're going to bring a lot of people. They have to bring a lot of people against Penn State. That's their only chance to stop the run game.
And you can see right there, both linebackers come up. They keep nice contained. The guys got to go north and south. Nebraska's back does a nice job of making a miss. Now let's talk about 3rd downs. They're going to do a lot of things on 3rd downs. We talked, they're good on 3rd downs. Show blitzes, drop guys out, and take away the easy throw so you don't have that immediate hot throw.
But what do you notice? A lot of room in the middle of the field here.
Yeah, you got to get loose, though, and you got to pick it up. And here, Minnesota has a problem because they're 1 short, because they're adjusting back and they don't adjust to the guys dropping. So they should have the numbers to block this, but because they got guys blocking people that are dropping, so to speak, they get home.
Well, thank you, coaches. If they can defeat the Spartans, the Nittany Lions reach double-digit victories for the 5th time in Coach Franklin's 10 years in Happy Valley. The other 4 seasons, they actually finished with 11 wins. As for Michigan State, they're limping to the finish at 4-7 and would love to end the year with the unique land-grant trophy back in their possession.
First of all, to win the game, that's number one, and then the trophy comes along with it. It's something that Coach Perlis created. From my understanding, so that's always big because he was my coach. So we would love to bring it back home.
Yeah, Coach Barnett said the trophy is really nice as he bit his tongue. P.J. Mustafer and the Nittany Lions grabbed it after PSU's win in Beaver Stadium to end last year's regular season kickoff, 7:30 p.m. Friday night in Detroit. Up next, our Impact interview. He's a college football legend and Hall of Fame songwriter. The fascinating journey of former Penn State defensive lineman Mike Reid is coming up. And make sure to keep sending us your pride picks. This week's included Senior Day against Rutgers. We have quite a collection on our website, NittanyGameWeek.com. You can add yours by submitting it online. We'll have more picks coming up later in the show. Nittany Game Week returns after this.
Impact Interview is sponsored by the Pocono Mountains, where small-town charm meets big adventures. Book your trip today by visiting PoconoMountains.com.
Welcome back. Our Impact Interview guest this week is one of the greatest ever to wear the blue and white. As a defensive tackle, he won the Maxwell Award in 1969 as the nation's best college football player, elected to the College Football Hall of Fame and College All-Century Team, multiple NFL All-Pro seasons with the Cincinnati Bengals. And here's where it gets interesting. He walked away from football to pursue a musical career, wrote over a dozen #1 country songs, and was elected to the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. At some point, we have to actually ask him some questions. Mike Reid, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, it's a delight. Boy, oh boy, you guys are dating yourselves. All that is so long ago. As I tell people, younger people, I say, yeah, I played. We used to fold our helmets up and put them in our back pockets.
Well, we're going to we're going to shake you up for a little bit of memories for tonight. But the first thing we want to do is, Mike, we call this our Impact Interview. And so we want to talk about the impact that you've been able to have on your alma mater at Penn State, to be able to go work with musical and theater students and give back. And how much has that part of things meant to you to help people be successful off the field?
Well, whether or not I've done that or not is you'd have to ask them. I think essentially, it's about being motivated, moved to do things that you love. I haven't done much we all have to do things we'd rather not do, but I haven't done big things against my will. I loved, when I went and worked with the theater kids at Penn State. By the way, Penn State has the biggest musical theater program in the country of colleges. It's John Simpkinson runs it, and it's a fantastic program. And nothing like, being with young people to selfishly get yourself energized as well, So I love all things, I enjoy talking sports. I do talk football now when it's the season with friends. And I love all things art, music, poetry. I'm a product of Jay's dad. Jay's dad loved that. He loved that. He had players that had those kinds of interests in the world.
Mike, as you look back at Penn State football history, and I'm a great student of the history of it, you remain one of the gold standards for the true student-athlete renaissance man at Penn State. Now, during those undefeated seasons, you had some great teams, great teammates. Did you guys at that point understand that you were setting up something special that would last for generations to come? Or, if you didn't understand it, do you understand it now?
I don't think we did. No, I don't think we knew. We knew, your dad, we had the sense that we were under the gaze of an extraordinary man. I think we knew that. We were kids. Let's understand. It takes the human brain, a full 25 or 26 years to fully develop. So we were kids. We did our brains weren't even all there yet. But I think we sensed, Jay, that we were in the presence of a different human being than we had encountered, and he inspired for me. Your dad inspired in the very best way. I lived in, and I think, Steve, we all felt this way. We lived in fear of Joe, but the fear was, I lived in fear of disappointing him. I couldn't bear the thought of disappointing him.
Hey, Mike, you played football, wrestled, and starred in a campus musical during your time at Penn State. How much did growing up in Altoona and then going to Penn State prepare you for a successful life after football?
Well, you know what? Success is an odd word. That's a really strange word. I think of experiences I've had, and I feel now, as an old man, I feel depth of gratitude about the experience I had at Penn State. And I must tell you about the experience in the theater. I was Big Julie in Guys and Dolls. I was heartbroken. I had had knee surgery, and back in those days when you had surgery, they put your whole leg in a cast. So I'm over in West Halls. I'm in a cast. I'm kind of bummed. Can't really do anything. The season's over for me. Redshirted. That remained among not only the bowl games, working with your dad, Jay, but that theater production remains one of the riveting experiences of my time at Penn State. I had the best time doing that.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to step aside for the TV show to take a break. We'll continue a really entertaining conversation with Mike Reid. For the entire Impact interview, make sure you go to NittanyGameWeek.com. While you're there, check out the other web-exclusive content. And we're not even going to tease you. It's an obvious pick for the scrap metal. We talked to Chop Robinson after his punishing performance against Rutgers. Why he says being a Nittany Lion is even better than he imagined. We're heading into the final minutes on Nittany Game Week.
Scrap Metal is sponsored by the We Are In, voted #1 game day restaurant in Center County. Follow us on Facebook and visit thewearein.com or call for dinner or room reservations.
Oh, time for this week's scrap metal winner. Tom, you were texting me before the game was even over. It's an obvious choice.
How could you not? He was Mr. Disruptive. He not only caused the fumbles, he recovered the fumbles too.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, Chop Robinson, what a game for the junior defensive end. Started his college career at Maryland, now in his second year with the Nittany Lions. He told me his time in Happy Valley has been better than he could have imagined.
Honestly, you know, it's even better, especially with just like the chemistry. They always talked about the chemistry during recruiting, and you know, I believed it, but actually being around and then being on the team is way different. You know, I'm really blessed to be here.
The Chop is eligible for the upcoming NFL draft. Going to be interesting to see where he grades out. He has immense talent. We like to connect our viewers with businesses that support the show. This happens in our depth chart at NittanyGameWeek.com. It's an impressive roster of small and big businesses you need to check out for a variety of different services. Our goal is to build a team that keeps the hometowns strong. And while you're on the website, make sure to look around and consume some of our other web-exclusive content. Watch our weekly Overtime podcast. Check out the Pride Picks. We have a lot to share with you when it comes to college football, and Penn State can all be found at NittanyGameWeek.com. And I mentioned our Pride Picks. Continue to submit them and show us your spirit. We're very thankful to an awesome network of stations that get the show in front of you, our viewers, each and every week. Enjoy the feast of football over this Thanksgiving weekend. We're thankful for those pants with the hunting dogs on them. You guys have an awesome holiday as well. I don't know about those moves, but you know, that's okay. For Jay and Tom, I'm Todd.
You don't have to ride home with them.
That's right, exactly. Thanks so much for watching Nittany Game Week. We'll see you next time.